TPM, Jesus Christ is Lord.
The perfect man and hypocrisy. Luke chapter 11. George, read from verse 37 to 54.
And as he spake, a certain Pharisee besought him to dine with him. And he went in and sat down to meat. And when the Pharisee saw it, he marveled that he has not first washed before dinner. And the Lord said unto him, Now do you Pharisees make clean the outside of the cup and the plaster, but your inward part is full of ravening and wickedness. Ye fools, did not he that made that which is without make that which is within also? But rather give alms also such things as ye have, and behold, all things are clean unto you. But woe unto you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and all manner of herbs, and pass over judgment and the love of God. Thus ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Woe unto you, Pharisees, for you love the uppermost seat in the synagogue, and greetings in the markets. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are graves which appear not, and men that walk over them are not aware of them. Then answered one of the lawyers, and said unto him, Master, thus sayest thou reproachest us also? And he said, Woe unto you also, ye lawyers, for ye lead men with burden grievance to be burned, and you yourself touch not the burden with one of your fingers. Woe unto you, for you build the sepulchre of the prophet, and your fathers killed them. Truly, ye bear witness that ye allow the deeds of your father, for they indeed killed them, and ye build their sepulchres. Therefore also said he, the wisdom of God, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute, that the blood of all the prophets which was shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation, from the blood of Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, which perished between the altar and the temple. Verily I say unto you, it shall be required of this generation. Woe unto you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. Ye entered not yourself, and them that were entering, they that were entering in, you have hindered. And as he was saying this thing unto them, the scribes and the Pharisees began to urge him vehemently, and to provoke him to speak of many things, laying wait for him, and seeking to catch him something out of his mouth, that they might accuse him.
May God bless his word in our souls in Jesus' name. If we go through all these readings, they are very technical. But I will not do so. I will only pinpoint some vital points, only 4 of them. But it covers everything. The perfect man and hypocrisy. Hearken unto me, and clean your eyes to see. There are certain things we shall say, if you are not careful, you may not catch it. But it's vital. You can be seated. Four things in this whole reading. I condense it to 4. Hypocrisy is a Greek word which means mask. Is a slow killer sin. It's killing some people without them knowing that. The first point is from 42 even to 52, but read 42 only. Read.
But woe unto you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue, and all manner of herbs, and pass over judgment and the love of God. This ought you to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
I will only pick woe. It's a detailed teaching if we pick it one by one. But to save your time and not to stretch you too much, I condense it. Hypocrisy is a mask. Listen to me, church. Dozens and hundreds or thousands of people walking on the streets today, they are masked. They are wearing masks without knowing it. They wear masks to their office. They wear masks to their houses. They wear masks to the place of worship. They may not understand, but listen to the word of God. If you find yourself in it, I urge you to make haste and repent. It's a slow-killing, deadly sin. But I want to comfort you a little bit. Jesus said, woe unto you, you hypocrites. You look at it, it's heavy. Is Jesus cursing them or not? Woe unto you. Is Jesus cursing them or what? What do you understand, church? Is he cursing them or what? I'm not hearing you well. Okay, thank you. Whoa! Jesus is raising an alarm. It's not a curse. Jesus did not curse any man. Throughout the duration of his ministry, he only cursed the fig tree. The man that seemed that he received a curse, but not a curse, is Judas. When he said, it's better for you not to be born. It looked like a curse, but it's not a curse. It's a statement of fact. Jesus did not curse any man in his ministry. He only cursed the fig tree for a reason. And the reason is this: the fig tree portrays hypocrisy in grade 1 order. And Jesus, being God and man, have seen the fig tree in the season that he ought not to bring green leaves. He brought out green leaves to confuse people. And Jesus, knowing very well that it was that fig tree that Adam used to cover his nakedness, to cover up, mask. And Jesus has no other option than to curse the fig tree. People were surprised. But the next day, the fig tree died. Fig tree stands for a region. The region. I have never seen anything very hypocritical than the region without Christ. The region. All forms of religion, call it any name, if you check inside, it's nothing but hypocrites. But here Jesus said, woe unto you, hypocrites. He was simply saying to the Pharisees, he was raising alarm. Woe. He raised alarm. Meaning, if you know, you Pharisees, you religious beggars, if you know the damage you are damaging your soul, you will pity yourself. See what you are doing to your soul. See the grief you are causing yourself. It's woe. If you see the condition of your soul, you will know that it's really grievous. It's a woeful condition. Woe! It's a grief statement. Sorry. See what you are doing to your soul. See the damage you are causing yourself. Woe unto you. See what you are doing to yourself. It's not a cause, but it's an alarm. Is there anybody here going about with mask? I will come down. But am I speaking to anybody here with a mask in his soul or her soul? You are wearing mask to the church, even though you carry your Bible or your hymn book. But inside of you, Jesus made it clear. You wash the outside cup, but the inside is rotten. Go away with that good dress you wear. Forget about that Bible you carry. When your soul is rotten. And he went on to tell them, point 2. Read 44 to 48.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees.
How pitiful is your soul, you scribes and Pharisees.
Hypocrites.
Hypocrites.
For ye are as graves which appear not.
See the damage you are damaging your soul. See what you are doing. They have some characters. A hypocrite has some characters, and it's mentioned there. A grave you can't see. It's level. And you know, in Israel, you can't touch a grave. If you touch a grave, you're unclean. You are unclean. But some people are like grave you can't see, so that you run away from it. But it's level with the ground. Everything is just level. But it's a grave. He called them grave that cannot be seen. What kind of hypocrisy is this? There are people who slowly wound the people. They wound people without any regard. They cause offense to people's life without regarding anything. They pretend it doesn't matter. These are the graves in the church. Regardless of whom you are, they don't care. They damage you, walk on you, nobody will know it. Nobody will know it. But they are in the church. I hope I'm not speaking to some of them this morning. In their secret place, they bury somebody, pretending that it doesn't matter. These are hypocrites. And let me assure you, it's a slow killer that will take somebody to hell. Don't toy with it. Jesus said, see the damage you are damaging your soul. If you damage your soul, what next? The soul that sinners shall die. See offense. You are costing your fellow Christian. And you regard it not. You pretend that you don't even know that you are hurting people. Offense. You are no more sensitive. You are just like grave that does not appear. But you are really hitting people. Can I tell you something? You can hit people hypocritically two areas. By your character and by your words. You can say something, some naughty things. It hurts somebody. It damages somebody's soul. You don't even budge. You carry on your life. You don't give account. You don't check. How do I live my life today? How have I lived my life today? You just open your mouth and words are coming out. And the same thing with character. I mean, you don't even weigh your character. You just carry on. Anybody stand on the way, you march. And people are dying in silence. And you are marching on. You are just going on like that. Grave, not sea. Nobody knows it. But you are doing some damage. That is one kind of hypocrisy. Read on, Judge.
For ye are as grave which appear not, and men that walk over them are not aware of them.
Yeah, you don't know that you are hurting people. By your word and by your character. By the way you are. And people are not aware of it. You are not aware of it. Go ahead.
Then answered one of the lawyers.
Then one of the lawyers answered him.
And said unto him.
Master,
thus sayest thou reproachest us also.
Are you also reproaching us? Are you also rebuking us?
And he said.
Woe
unto you also.
Woe unto you also.
Ye lawyers.
You lawyers.
For you laid men with burdens grievous to be borne. And ye yourself touch not the burden with one of your fingers. Woe unto you. For you built the sepulchre of the prophets. And your father killed them. Truly, you bear witness that ye allow the deed of your fathers.
There are so many hypocritical characters there, but look at this one. Say, woe unto you, lawyers. Your own is not even silent. Because the lawyer man was looking at him, he was listening to what he said. How he rebuked hypocrites, washing religiously the outer plate, but inside is rotten. And they ought to teach, you see, lawyers ought to teach wisdom. But they refuse. And the lawyer man said, Jesus, this thing you are saying, I think is not, are you also talking to us? He said, woe unto you, lawyers. Their own is open one. It's not even silent killer, like no grave. People are being defiled by walking on that grave. Ignorance is no excuse. In the Old Testament, if you touch a dead person, are you a Jew? Or you touch grave, you are unclean. Whether you know it or not. How many Christians are becoming, thank God for grace. How many Christians are becoming unclean before the Holy God? And many of our prayers are being disturbed because we are no more sensitive to the way we treat people. We march upon them, it doesn't care. You don't care, regardless of their feeling. And as much as you okay, others may go to blazes. Hypocrites. I believe that if Jesus entered into our churches today, he will point them out. Those who are finishing people under. You finish them in your heart. Finish them by your ways of saying something or character. Lawyer, you build the graves of the prophets. You build their sepulchre and painted it white. You honor the prophets, but you don't believe in their teaching. Do you hear what I say now? These lawyers, they honor the prophet that their father killed and build their sepulchre, monuments, in memory of so and so prophets. Raise the sepulchre, paint it white, so that everybody will know this is Prophet Elijah. But they will be very careful to put who killed him, because their father's name will come. They build it, paint it, honor them. Hypocrites. Somebody is alive. You did not honor him when he was alive. And when he died, he began to make some nonsense of a thing. If you don't do something for a man or a woman when he or she is alive, forget it. If you don't love the person when the person is alive, forget it. Some of you here, I challenge you. Your mother will be alive. You don't attend to your mother. Especially Igbo people. You don't attend to your mother. And when your mother dies, you put her in mortuary, begin to go and build a house. Hypocrites. You put her in mortuary for some time and begin to raise a house so that your friend will say, this is a house, I want to bury my mother. And when your mother was alive, the woman was dying of hunger. Hypocrites. And I want to challenge you, man. You are living with your wife now. You have not settled the case of your wife with your family. And when you happen to die, they will attack your wife. Hypocrites. Why can't you secure your wife now? Is somebody hearing me? Once they put you in the grave, they will bounce on the woman. Now our brother. They will sack the woman, say, where is the account? Where is the account? If I am your pastor, hear this. You better settle your family for tomorrow. Don't leave your wife in tension. They will come and drag your wife, drag her out. Now our brother's property, because the children are not grown up. They mess the woman up. Why? Because you're hypocrites. It's a slow killer sin. May I say to you, with all sincerity of heart, many widows have suffered in the hand of wicked men. Men, if possible, if you can't do it openly, go and find a lawyer to prepare a will for you. Jesus left us with a will. We call it testament. Go and make a will and be sure that your wife and children are secured. If you don't honor somebody, I put my mother in a condition that helped her to live more. She stayed 90-something years. She would have died before that time. But because I say, no, this is my mind for you. If I have money to buy her Boeing 747, I will buy it when she is alive. Not when he died. Not when she died. And you begin to come up. You are so and so. You are a hypocrite. Straight ahead. That your brother, you are in position to help. If you don't help him now, and tomorrow on earth, God forbid, and you find him no more. You say, my brother is dead, let me do this, and you buy the best casket. Go. Anything you want to do for somebody now, do it. When the person is still alive. When you do it, when the person is alive, he or she will bless you. When somebody dies, he dies. There is no remembrance of this word in the grave. Don't die a hypocrite. Don't die a hypocrite. Okay. If I say this now, you misunderstand me. Don't say my pastor, our pastor, we love you. Mommy, pastors, we love you. We love you. We just love you. If you want to pray for your pastor, pray for him or her now. If you have anything to say to your pastor, say it now. If you have anything to give to them, give it now. And they bless you. I remembered one man of God. He's a friend of mine. He died. And they begin to take bag all over the churches, begging for money to build him a house. A national preacher said they won't bury him unless they build him a house. Who will live in that house? The man is dead. Why are you bothering yourself? When he was alive, he was squatting. No idea until when he died. What kind of hypocrisy is that? It's nothing but hypocrisy. So this lawyer say, are you also rebuking us? He said, woe unto you lawyers. The prophets came. Say, thus said the Lord. You did not believe. And when they died, you build their grave. When you don't believe what the pastor is saying, why are you bothering when he died? Hello? Are you alive? I'm not ashamed to say this. Now, we sweat. I spend my time and everything bringing out what God gave to me to you. And you are not doing it. You are not doing it right now so that my heart will be gladdened. That the word you are receiving is bearing fruit. And when I'm old, because I can't stay forever. You know that. When I'm old, and I went home, and you begin to say, do you remember that teaching of Reverend Ezekiel? Do you remember his teaching? Do you remember that one? That one you remember and do what? It's not enough to remember, but what has that done in your life? My joy is this: when I see this word you are receiving working in you, I'm so glad. It's working in some of you. I give God glory for that. Clap hand for yourself. I must be very frank. It's working in some of you. And you don't know the gladness you are causing me. So glad to see. John said, I'm so glad that my children are walking in the truth. Some of you whom I come across and have some interaction, even though for 10 seconds I ask one or two questions. You may not know why I'm asking you, and you answer me. When I hear your answer, my heart is gladdened. Because, let me tell you, one subject from this book costs a lot of energy. You will search, you will look, you will meditate. Let it not be in vain. Mortalize it right now that we are still alive. Don't kill silently like a silent grave. And don't build sepulchre like the lawyers. And you are not doing what the prophet is saying. It's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. It's nothing but hypocrisy. Number 3. 50 and 51. Quickly.
That the blood of all the prophets,
which
was shed from the foundation of the world, may be required of this generation. From the blood of Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, which perished between the altar and the temple. Verily I say unto you, it shall be required of this generation.
The consequences of hypocrisy. That's the third point. The first one, remember, is Jesus cursing them when he said, woe? No. Two types of hypocrisy. Silent grave and open grave. The one you don't see, the one you will see. Open one is good. At least I know of some time ago, that brother has really, but I'm just using it as a password. He met me face to face, and he said to me, Ezekiel, I hate you. I like it. He was not hiding anything. I laughed. I just leave him. And he later come back and say, why do I say this? I said, don't worry. Are you a silent killer? Wounding people in silence with your character, with your word. regardless of how they feel? Or are you an open one, open sepulcher? Even though you build the sepulcher, but you don't believe their teaching. Then the third one, the blood of Abel. Everyone say blood of Abel. And blood of who? Zachariah. Say blood of Abel and Zachariah. The consequences of this blood will come upon hypocrites. It's a whopper. Ask me a question. Who is Abel? Who is Zachariah? Church, listen to this. Abel was the first person killed in Genesis by his brother. His brother Cain killed him. And when God asked him, where is your brother Achan? He said, am I my brother's keeper? In other words, which one concerned me? And Zachariah, you may not know much about Zachariah. But let me say this. Church, listen. In the Old Testament, how many books are in Old Testament? 39. From Genesis to Malachi. How many? Say it louder. 39. Listen to this. It will bless you. Jesus said Abel to Zechariah. That is beginning to the end of Old Testament. Abel is in Genesis. Zechariah is in Chronicle. Why did he bring Zechariah? Church, Malachi is not the end of Old Testament. It's not the last book in Old Testament. It is the last book in English translation. They put it there. Theologians put it there. But in Jewish Bible, the whole 39 books are in their Bible. But the last book was 2 Chronicle. Where Malachi is where 2 Chronicle is. Is the end of Old Testament Bible. In Jewish Bible. So Jesus said, from beginning of Old Testament to the end of Old Testament, one, Abel was killed in the beginning, Zechariah was killed at the end. And their blood will be required from hypocrites. Do you understand what I said? My explanation? Huh? I said again. Genesis in the beginning. That's the end. That's the beginning of New Testament, Old Testament. But the end of it in Jewish Bible is 2 Chronicle. That's where the story of Zechariah came up, and Jesus used it properly. Oh, raise up your hand and clap hand for Jesus. Hallelujah. He is wisdom of God. He put it quite all right. There's nothing wrong though in the way we have our Bible today. Nothing wrong. It's good for us. But at times, if you meet a Jewish man and read it like that, he will laugh at you. Not that there's anything wrong. But the chronology of the Bible was not like that in Jewish Bible. Like if you go to Greece, there are certain things you will say, they will laugh at you. Because they have the original tongue. The Greek language that they used to write the Bible. Like John 3:16. Now your Bible is okay. Are you hearing me? Don't ever have a double mind. You're having a perfect this book. Thank God for the translators. They make it simple for us to understand. Like in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him shall not perish, but have everlasting. But in Greek, it is not just like that. If you want to bring it up in Greek, this word, God so loved. This is how they put it. This word, God so loved. They put it the other way, but the same meaning. Are you there? You know, I'm slow because I want you to grab everything. You are grabbing. I love you. So, Jesus, knowing that the last book in the Old Testament for the Jews is Chronicle, so he hid them at the point. From Abel to Zechariah, from Genesis to Chronicle, the last book. And they were looking at him. He said, the blood of all these people will be required from you, you hypocrites. And they did not budge. And that blood was required from them. In AD 70, General Titus invaded them and killed them. Every word of Jesus Christ, no one of them will drop. I say unto you, hypocrites, anywhere you are, examine your life. Hypocrisy is a slow killer. It's a slow killer sin. When you don't want to budge, you are no more sensitive. The way you are hurting people, whether silently or openly. Let me advise, if somebody comes to you and say, you hurt me, please humble yourself and beg. Heaven is a narrow way. You can't carry handbag. It can't contain you. That road. Clean, spotless. God is no respecter of person. I fear. I'm telling you. Then the final one, 52 to 54. Luke 11.
Woe unto you, lawyers!
Woe unto you, lawyers!
For you have taken away the key of knowledge.
You have taken away the key of knowledge.
Ye enter not in yourself, and them that were entering in ye hindered. And as he has said these things unto them, the scribes and the Pharisees began to urge him vehemently, and to provoke him to speak of many things, laying wait for him, and seeking to catch something out of his mouth, that they might accuse him.
Hypocrites. That they might accuse him, but they will not catch anything. He said, woe unto you, lawyers. Our lawyers here, I'm not talking to you. A vendor can be a lawyer as far as hypocrisy is concerned. Look at what he said. You have taken the key of what? Shout it louder. This is not a question of constitutional law. is knowledge of God. It's not a law constitution. It's not a law court, but the law of God. The concept of God. You lawyers, you have taken it away. What does that mean? From Genesis to Malachi, the people that can interpret or teach this book are the lawyers, scribes, and lawyers. In every book, in every chapter of this book in Old Testament, you will see Jesus. From Genesis to Malachi, every chapter you will see Jesus. Every book. One way or the other. If you don't see him directly, you will see him indirectly. These people discover it, they lock it up. They don't want any other Jewish man to hear it. Because they don't know. They are depending upon them to teach them. To teach them. They refuse to take the truth, and they don't want to allow others to know it. Thank God that the Bible is all over today. In some years past, only the priests can have the Bible. When I was in US, I went to a museum where they have those old Bibles. They chain it with chain and lock it with key. Only the priest or the pastor will open it on Sabbath day or on Sunday and read, and people will come to church empty-handed. So the priest will now read and interpret to them. Anything the priest said is okay. They don't have any other. But today, every one of you have your own Bible. Raise up your Bible. Raise up your Bible. This is one of the greatest gifts of God in your hand. But are you not a Pharisee? Wait now. Hold your Bible. Hold your Bible. Raise it up. I'm speaking to you. Is there any John 3:16 in your Bible? What does it say? You know it. You receive it. How many people have you made to know? Hypocrites. You have it. You don't want others to have it. Many are in the valley of decision, crying, send the light. You are having the light. You don't want to give it out. You are locking the key. You throw the key inside their pocket. Let them die. I ask you, how many of you are hypocrites? No, I'm not a hypocrite. Here we come. If I ask you last week, even last month, how many people have you said, this is what John 3:16 said? How many? Many of you are trying, but some of you are yet to come up. You relax. Pastors are there. Let them continue. You warm up yourself every Sunday here, every Wednesday, every Friday. You are holding the Bible, the key. You refuse to give it to people. Some of you have 3, 4, 5 Bibles in your house. You lock it up. Are you going to use it to cook soup? No move. People are dying. You lock the key. You refuse that others will enter. On Friday, I was touched with the prayer. He said, all what we are receiving, what are we doing with it? Many people are doing something with it. But some people are so familiar. Say, I told people last week, I won't go again. The perfect man and hypocrisy. You cannot be sure of one soul this year. You have won. You can't be sure. How much more 2 or 3? You are not sure. What we are after is every Sunday. Ezekiel, tell us those mysteries. I will tell you those mysteries. Look, go church. My hand is clean. I am a shepherd. You are a sheep. I will only feed you with the word of God. You go out there and bring pikin. I'm not the one to bring pikin. I'm a shepherd. Even though I bring my own pikin. Go out there if you love Jesus. Don't die a hypocrite. What is woe is not a curse, but it's alarm. Are you a grave, not sin, or a grave, sin? What kind of a hypocrite you are? The consequences is coming from the blood of Abel, the blood of Zachariah. How are you going to answer for them? You're holding your key and you lock it up. In closing, many of you from Abia State, I challenge you to any of these states. There's a particular town they are calling. Is there any? So, if you check how many crusades have been conducted in that place, maybe none. Not that there's no Christian, but they don't want to. And when things are getting worse, they'll be looking for somebody from America to come and evangelize. For one is warned. I have told you. Run away from hypocrisy. It's a slow killer. Anybody who has ear to hear, let it hear. To God be the glory for great things.
TBM, Jesus Christ is Lord.